Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am VanAdams. Today I am here in downtown Baltimore with a very special guest, Micah Dixon. Micah is the ex-boyfriend of the very beautiful, talented, openly transgender model and spokesperson, Miss Amiyah Scott. Yesterday, when Micah and one of our mutual friends contacted me, sort of to inquire about allowing Micah to use this platform to share his story, one of the things that made me feel comfortable in agreeing to do it was the fact that when I asked Micah sort of what his intentions were, what his intentions are in telling his side of the story, he made it very clear that, he did not want to bash Amiyah at all. And on camera, I want to ask you, through this interview, through our discussion, what do you what do you hope to accomplish?
I just hope that people get to see more of who I am and see my side of the story, and just to clarify things.
To clarify. Yeah. Now, you and Amiyah, your breakup is pretty recent. How long have you two been broken up?
To be honest, I would say since about, things have been getting shaky since about January 20th, really.
January 20th is when you can say officially ended or let go of the title?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how long were you all together prior to that?
We actually met in, was that 2012 and the end of November 2012? Yeah.
Okay, so about a year and a month?
Yeah.
About a year and a month you guys were together. And how did you meet her, or did she reach out to you?
Well, we had a mutual friend, and I had seen her or whatever on social media, kind of.
So you were aware of who she was?
I was aware of who she was, and we had a mutual friend or whatever, and I initially was talking to one of her friends that was transgender or whatever.
You were dating one of Amiyah's friends?
I wasn't dating her. I was like talking to her.
Okay.
And I had made it like, I had told our mutual friend that I was interested in like both of them or whatever.
Okay.
So,
the friend told Amiyah that you expressed interest?
yeah, and so we ended up meeting at a club or whatever.
Okay.
We ended up meeting at a club. It was like, actually I had went to the club and I saw her and I tapped her leg or whatever.
Amiyah's.
Mm-hmm. And I ended up following her. And
what city were you guys in?
we were in Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
And I ended up tapping her, and I kind of followed her or whatever. And so we were sitting there talking, and she was like, well, what's your name or whatever? And I was like, Micah. And she was like, Michael? I was like, no, Micah. She was like, oh, okay, because I had bad experiences with Michaels. That was her, one of her ex-boyfriend's names.
Right, okay.
Or whatever. And so that was that, and we kind of went our separate ways. And
so you met Amiyah inside the club.
yes.
She asks you your name. You make it clear that your name is Micah, not Michael. And once she walks away from you, your mutual friend comes to this club in Atlanta.
Yeah. And he ended up trying to let us meet or whatever. So from there on, that's where we kind of started talking. We ended up leaving the club, and we went to another club, and then we ended up going to his house. And so
y'all got to spend one-on-one time together.
Yeah, we got to talk, and she was we were talking, and she was like, she asked me what my zodiac sign was, and I was like, I'm a Capricorn. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she asked me, she was like, I'm a Capricorn too. And then she asked me when was my birthday, and I was like, January 12th. And then she kind of was like shocked or whatever, and she was like, and kind of dropped to her knees or whatever, because her birthday was January 11th.
Right.
And her previous boyfriend, who she had just got out of a relationship, his birthday was January 13th, so it was kind of like,
yeah,
that was kind of like weird.
Because you guys just sort of had a big birthday celebration together in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And less than maybe a week or so later, you guys split.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask you because I mean this is something that has not been addressed publicly by either of you. What really was the reason for the split? I mean, was there infidelity? Were you overwhelmed by her lifestyle? I mean, was there a third parties involved? Like, what really drew that wedge between you two?
Well, for me, that point in January, that was kind of the part. It was we through the relationship, we would always get into arguments, like petty arguments about little things, and it would just get so big, and it would just
Little things pertaining to what?
just like little things as far as like when we were planning the birthday party, it was a kind of it was an issue about what time we should arrive at the club, and it kind of it just went out of it just blew up, and it
So, sort of, because we always, when we see Amiyah, she's always smiling. She's always kind of like, you know, in very high spirits. And so behind closed doors, of course, every couple fights and bickers, but it got to a point where your arguments just became more frequent, and it started, you know, there were more times of distress than pleasure and joy. Is that sort of?
yeah, it was
Okay.
like it was just neither one of us was happy, so it was like we were just arguing all the time, and
This went on for how many months leading up to January 20th of 2014?
I would say probably about five months maybe.
Okay, so we're gonna take it back to maybe the summertime. So let's say end of summer, August, September of 2013. That's when all the petty arguments just became more frequent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
and it was even more so when we were like actually together most of the time when I got back in December, because
you got back from where?
I was in the army or whatever. I was in the army, and so around December we were together more or whatever, and so the thing.
Were you living with her?
No.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about when you came back from the military in December of 2013. Were you living with her?
No, I wasn't really living with her. We were in the process of moving to Atlanta together.
Okay.
We were going to move to Atlanta together, but something happened and we ended up not moving.
Something happened, like the.
She was doing a business deal, and it ended up like something happened, so she ended up not moving. So
Let me ask you this, and the reason why I'm going to ask you this is because Amiyah, you know, during this past couple of weeks, she has made several comments on her Twitter. She has said things like, you know, you can't throw shade at me and sneakers I've bought for you, or, you know, she's talked about being in a situation where a rich guy wanted her and she turned towards her dude and he couldn't even do anything for her. She's made comments like, you know, all her businesses and her bookings, you know, that provided her with the money that took care of the two of you. I mean, I'm not quoting her, but these were three tweets that I remember. In any way, shape, or form was Amiyah taking care of you? Like, was she buying your sneakers, your food, paying for you to travel back and forth, giving you money for bills? Like, basically shaking her purse in the relationship? Or were you both balancing the financial aspects of your relationship?
well, the majority of the time, no, because I was making my own money. I was in the army, so
Okay.
I didn't have to depend on anyone else for the money. I mean, in relationships, you buy people stuff, shoes.
Right.
The shoes that she was talking about, it was a birthday gift. So
Oh, okay.
I feel like
So you bought gifts for Amiyah. When you and Amiyah would go out to dinner, lunch, breakfast, you would sometimes pay. I mean, there was balance.
yeah, there was balance. I would say that and especially in the end, she paid more because she had the income, but
Right.
it wasn't like I was dependent on her or using her for her money, because I have my own, and I don't have them that many bills. I'm young.
Right. You are how old?
I'm 20 years old.
You're 20. So you were 19 when you met her.
I was actually 18.
You were 18 when you met her at the end of 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, and you turned in the very beginning stages. Like, did your relationship happen very quickly? It was only 8 months ago that you know, Amiyah was interviewed by Ballroom Throwbacks by Caesar, and you know, that's when she coined the term shout out to Micah. That was the first time that many of us discovered you, that you even exist, you know what I mean? So between the time you guys met at the end of 2012 and her announcing you 8 months ago, you all got together pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would say that we kind of we moved fast, and I think that's part of where things kind of went wrong, because I think you should be friends with someone before you get in a relationship with them.
Right.
And just, I don't know. I think we moved too fast.
Did you ever say that to her in the very beginning, or were you so caught up in the fact that you finally got a chance to be around Amiyah and meet her that you kind of just went along? Was she the one kind of like making the decisions, like, let's be together now, you're my man? Was she the one kind of dictating that, or were you also making those decisions, feeling at that moment like this is a good decision? Let's be together, even though we don't really know each other, but this feels right, you know? Was it like that?
Yeah, it wasn't on her behalf. It was mutual.
It was mutual.
It was mutual.
Now, before we move any further, I have to ask you this. It was maybe about 3 Fridays ago, it was, where Amiyah and I follow each other on Twitter, and I remember just seeing a series of tweets where she basically showed the public that you deleted her Instagram account. She posted a copy of the email that was sent to her, and it was the night after she had your name covered up on her body with a mermaid, and we all know Amiyah loves mermaids.
Yeah.
Now, by her doing that, by her sort of, you know, covering your name, did that hurt you to the point where you felt like she was trying to erase you out of her life, and as a result, just in sort of an emotional rage, you decided, I'm just going to, you know, delete her Instagram? Was that something that you consciously thought about before you did, or was it something you acted on because you were so angry or so upset?
Yeah, it was, I was hurt by her covering up my name. That's the main reason that I did it. I was hurt because she had said, even though at this point I want to go back to why I felt like I didn't want to be in a relationship with her.
Okay. So you broke it off?
Honestly, I would say I did, because
okay.
if I would have, I would say I did, because okay. Yeah, I really broke it off. It was a situation as to where it was Rihanna's birthday, and I had posted pictures of Rihanna on her birthday, and I had made a couple tweets, and I had said something like Rihanna is my bae or something like that. And so
she's a celebrity, and we all have celebrity crushes.
Yeah, and so previously Amiyah had said something to me about me keeping my obsession to a cute little level, like, or whatever. I guess because she feels like, I don't know.
It's another woman.
Yeah, it's another woman. So I could understand, but I could understand why she felt some type of way, but at the same time, it's like,
it's a celebrity.
Right. It's like,
but and I'm glad that you brought this up about other women, because, you know, last Saturday, Trisha Khan, Shayla Stacks, she isn't someone who I know really well. I met her maybe 10 years ago, back in 2004. There's video footage of her dragging you through a function, through a club, and she pulls you in front of the same exact camera that Amiyah stood in front of and coined the term shout out to Micah. Shayla says the same thing, shout out to Micah, holding your hand and dragging you past the camera. In that moment, did you in any way, shape, or form realize how messy that could look, or how that could possibly hurt Amiyah's feelings or antagonize the situation at all?
I knew. I knew.
What was going on?
I didn't necessarily know that she was actually about to do that, because I didn't know that, but I knew that once she did it, that Amiyah was going to feel some type of way. And
did you try to contact Amiyah and say, look, before this hits online, before the public sees this, I just want to let you know this is what happened? And because your relationship with Trisha is what?